Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Today, Sooners rubber game. That's a rarity. It's usually a game two kind of goes for the series for the Sooners. Not the case this series against Texas on the road in Austin. They will have to win game three to win the series after falling 2-1 Saturday night on ESPN. But before we get into all of that, if you're not already checking out the fan stop, be sure to do so. Use code SURGE for 10% off your first 3 months. The links for that is in the description down below. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss our latest content. Guys, Sooners, 1 p.m., Longhorn Network. Doesn't look like it's going to be on ESPN Plus. Should be a Longhorn Network only game from the looks of it from Sooner Sports. If you don't have that, it will be on 1077 The Franchise with Chris Plank. Oklahoma having to find some offense. They haven't really had much of it the last, 9 innings of softball. They've accounted for 1 run. So to be able to take down the fifth-ranked Longhorns, you're going to have to get the bats going and get them going early.
Well, and
Yeah, and
all we've heard before this series was, how's OU gonna hit? How are the bats gonna be going against Texas's ace? Right? It's all. Well, we haven't seen the ace yet. Well, today we're gonna see her, and we'll see. And maybe this is the game OU's bats get going the best because honestly, the first through 2 games, Texas has kind of kept OU at bay. When I say at bay, I mean the power game. OU's power game, they've just been dominant with the long ball, and they have 1 home run in 2 games, and shut out from a home run in game 2, which I think, Hunter, you said on the video we did last night after the game, that's the first time since February. So
Yeah, against Wisconsin. Back
so it's been a
Mary
long
Nutter.
time.
Yep, long time. Back Mary Nutter. That was the back end of a doubleheader. Late night there, as there was some delays heading into it. That game didn't really get underway till well after 11 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah. Today, it's going to be Diller Maxwell, is what I fully expect. One of the two lefties for the Sooners. Yeah, against Texas's ace. And, I mean, we can say, like you guys have been saying, look, it's been 9 innings where the Sooners have struggled to really get things going. They're not really looking baffled necessarily at the plate. They're just hitting it at Texas, barely missing some things, and all that through 9 innings, and they still got to win and then just barely lose the game yesterday. But, yeah, the sticks is what is going to have to come around for the Sooners in this game. And now you have Texas, who has done the unthinkable. I don't know if it was unthinkable for Texas fans, but a lot of people, until the Giant goes down, people wonder. And now they've done that. Listen, that was about as emotional of a game for Texas and OU, really, but Texas especially. They are on a high. How will they react and respond, really, after that? You had that inning with the early leaving from second base where the Texas went up 4-1, had runners on with no out, looked like they were just going to run away from OU, and then had to hang on for just a nail biter there in the 7th inning. How will they respond is going to be interesting. And also for OU, how will they turn it around and get the bats working? That's the two things, in my opinion, you got to look for today.
Yeah, Oklahoma, the last few losses, kind of remember how they go. Going back to that UCLA one in the College World Series 2 years ago, they lost that game by, I believe, 4, then run ruled them. Lost to Baylor, came out, offense exploding last year. Earlier this year, lost to Louisiana. They didn't put up a 9-0 run rule, Texas A&M Commerce. Now you're going against a fifth-ranked Texas Longhorns team. And it really hasn't been just one pitcher getting to Oklahoma. You had Czech Friday night come in, 2 innings of relief, 2 2/3, not allowing a hit, 2 strikeouts there. Before that, Oklahoma was hitting the ball really well, no strikeouts. And then you had Gutierrez going the distance, 94 pitches, 7 innings, only 1 run allowed and 6 hits. Before the 7th inning, only 4 hits. So you kind of have to expect Jada Coleman to get it going. She's been one of the best hitters in the country right now. One player of the week last week. Looking at her Big 12 numbers has just been unreal, and kind of get a leadoff hit. You saw it Saturday night, first pitch of the game, she gets a base hit. I think that's going to happen today. Same thing. Jada Coleman just getting the Sooners started early.
Yeah, Hunter and Jeremy, I think today you're going to find out quite a bit about where Patty Gasso, how she feels about Kirsten Deal, and because let me just if Kirsten Deal does not start the game, then I think that pretty much to me says okay, May and Maxwell when it gets time to crunch time in the postseason, that's kind of who they're going to lean on. And I don't know if that's fair to say, but I mean that's my opinion because this is a top 5 team, and if you don't pitch Deal or starter, then to me you're saying, well, we don't. She's not ready for this situation. Is that fair, guys, or is that just,
Yeah,
or is it just saying maybe go to Maxwell against their ace and try to win the series? I mean, what do you guys think of that?
I don't think that what happens today is going to determine what she does in the postseason because there's so much time before then. I do think Dill came in last night specifically, mainly for the one batter, lefty against lefty matchup. She got through it. She started the next inning, but then as it progressed, they didn't leave her in very long because either one, they knew she might be coming today and they didn't want them to see a lot of her. That could be an option. And they just felt like the matchup, probably analytically, and what they've looked at and studied is they wanted to bring, someone else in. So I don't think it at all has anything stamp or anything that's what Gasso is going to do later in the season. Now, very well could be Maxwell in May. Very well could be, Jay.
Yeah, Deal came in, as you mentioned, lefty, gets that out. Following inning comes in, she hits Atwood, gets pulled right after that free pass there. And what's interesting with Kelly Maxwell, 114 pitches Friday night. Again, softball, it's kind of easier for pitchers to be able to get out there and get into those high pitch totals, but you've seen it 2 straight weeks with Maxwell. Once she gets to that 100 pitch mark, starts to lose a little bit of the command that she has, starting to hang a little bit more hittable pitches, and teams are taking advantage of it. Would she be able to go in a game 3 coming off of just a little under 48 hours before going 114 pitches?
Yeah, that remains. We'll see. We'll find out. And guys, as far as Sooner standouts, game 3, the rubber game, I'm going to go with Alyssa Brito. I think Brito is due for a bomb, and a lot of Sooners are with 1 home run in 2 games. I know that's kind of crazy to even hear that because of the way they've been hitting the ball, but I think Alyssa Brito gets it done tonight, guys, or today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Man, I'm torn here, Jay, but I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna go with Tiare Jennings. I don't think you can go wrong with that. She had homered 6 out of her last 10 games. Didn't get one last night, so the odds are in her favor to get another one. And real quick, before Hunter gives his and closes this thing out, one thing to note about Kelly Maxwell, she has not been great coming in later in games.
I agree.
She has been better as a starter. Something to think about.
Yeah, you're completely right on that, Jerm. I'm going to go with Kinsey Hansen. 2 for 3 Saturday night, time in which the Sooner Bats just weren't able to get it really into rhythm against Gutierrez. She delivers with a base knock with 2 outs in the ninth, the seventh, keeping the hopes alive for the Sooners. Returning series for her. This is her first time back and really back into the lineup consistently in a long time. It's been a bit without Kinsey Hansen for Oklahoma. So I think she steps up big. It's the senior captain has been when you need a hit, when you need a moment, Kinsey Hansen is there to deliver. And I think this rubber game is going to be one where she gets it going. Maybe your first at bat, an extra base hit to put some more runs on the board for the Sooners. And one last thought, one last question for you guys before we get off here. What do you expect the pitching rotation to go tomorrow? Do you think it's a starter going through or tonight? Sorry, this afternoon. going through the entire 7 innings, 5 innings, if that's what it is, or do you expect some bullpen action?
Hunter, I'll say this: if they start Deal OU, if OU starts Deal, I would expect that they would love for her to just go the whole thing because I like Jeremy said earlier, I don't Maxwell coming out of the bullpen, just she hasn't been great doing that, right? And who else are you going to bring in? You going to bring in May that just pitched, or Keeney possibly? Keeney only went one. Keeney would be the one out of the bullpen if they bring one in today. I think it would be Keeney.
Yeah. Again, it depends on who they start, I think, is the big deal. S.J. Guerin has not thrown any yet. I do foresee that. I think OU is going to jump on this ace very quickly today. OU is not happy with their bats. They're going to probably make a statement and if that happens, it could very well where you see Deal, Keeney, and Guerin. But yeah, I think situationally it'll depend on that, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on I think Monticelli could maybe get another look. Keeney, as you mentioned it, Monticelli, if they're not down in a high leverage situation, to have that just velocity of from Monticelli, it's something different. And then SJ as well, arguably the best changeup on the staff. Something that Texas really hasn't seen as yet. Maybe kind of something if you have a lead to because it's usually that third to fourth time through the order, especially with Texas, where they're starting to figure out pitchers to keep them on their toes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Sooner Nation, on this game, the rubber game? Who's going to win the best of three in this series? 1 o'clock, first pitch, Sooners versus the Longhorns. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, as Hunter said, and you turn on your notifications. We'll see you after the game. Boomer.